Titletown Talk with Ray Mouser. 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 Yeah!
Good evening and welcome to Titletown Talk here at Chillers in Appleton on My New 32. I'm Wayne Mouser on a Tuesday night because of last night's Monday night game against the Chiefs and a big victory. And let's welcome our guest with the same applause. Yes, Aaron Ripkowski. 38-28 last night, Aaron. It was a heck of a game, and your first Monday night affair at Lambeau. How was it?
Oh, it was phenomenal. Great atmosphere. You know, the fans were all excited, and the place was just jumping. It was awesome.
Now, you've had two straight primetime games. The week before was against Seattle, and now last night. Was there any difference?
I wouldn't say there's much of a difference. You got to approach every week in the same way and get ready for the next opponent, no matter what day you're playing. You know, you have to approach every week the same way and show up and get ready to work and make sure you're ready for everything that they're going to throw at you.
Well, last night, Aaron Rodgers threw just about anything he wanted to against the Chiefs.
Right.
Great night. First series, nothing, but then after that, a couple of touchdowns, and the guy is just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's just incredible. He does some stuff in practice I've never seen another human being do before. He's always looking in one direction, throwing the ball the other way, and it's always in the right spot at the right time.
24 of 35 of the night, 333 yards, and then the 5 touchdowns. And that's something that doesn't happen too often, but he seems to have a knack of doing that every once in a while.
Yeah, you know, like I said, he's a great player, and he always finds a way to pull it out, you know, and make something happen.
Coach said you want to get off to a good start, as good as you can. Last night was about as good as you could do, I guess.
Right, yeah, we got off to a great start, and we kept our foot on the gas pedal, and we didn't quite put them away to let them come back a little bit, but we finished the game off in the right fashion.
Talked about Aaron with that great game, a 138.5 quarterback rating. The receivers, James Jones, 7 catches, 139 yards. What a replacement for Jordy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really replace Jordy, but he's done a phenomenal job at, you know, getting out there and making plays and making stuff happen, and it's really incredible for us that we could have a guy come in and do that.
One of those catches was a 27-yard touchdown. Randall Cobb, another great game for him. Seems to be playing better, but he's still favoring that shoulder perhaps a little bit. But 3 touchdown catches, 3-yarder and 2 4-yarders, and 91 yards on the night. Yeah,
he really showed up to play. He did a great job last night, and hopefully he continues to play the way he's been playing.
And Ty Montgomery, 2 catches, one of those an 8-yard touchdown pass. So he spread them out. That big lead, it was 14-0 at the end of one, 24-7 at the half. And then early in the third quarter, it ballooned up to 31-7. And you're kind of coasting at that point.
Right.
And seeming to be able to do just about anything you wanted to, not only offensively, but defensively too.
Yeah, I think defense played really well. We had a couple mishaps there and let them score and get in the end zone a few more times than we'd like, but I think they ended up playing really well.
Jamal Charles was the man to worry about on the ground, and Green Bay held him in check, again 49 yards. He did have 3 rushing touchdowns, but still they did what they wanted to do with him.
Right, they were short rushing touchdowns. They weren't any big plays that they let up early on to, I guess, get their energy levels up. They kept them contained pretty well, and that really helped us out.
Just 75 yards on the ground and 18 carries for Kansas City, and they wanted to do more than that, but couldn't, then fell behind and had to abandon the running game. Alex Smith, their quarterback, 24 of 40, 290. A lot of those yards came in the fourth quarter, and when it didn't mean a whole lot, they did come back, but it wasn't going to be good enough. But he had a pretty good night overall, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Aaron Rodgers, so.
No, not too many people are.
Right.
No, he's an adequate quarterback. One of the things that just amazed me going into the game was they had not had a receiving touchdown, a wide receiver catching a touchdown pass since 2013. Macklin caught one last night, a 5-yard touchdown. And it was just amazing that you've got these wide receivers that are supposed to get in the end zone, and he can't find them.
Right. I don't know how they've went that long without having a receiving touchdown. That's incredible. But I guess he was probably pretty excited to be the first one to get one in a while.
The defense, great job. 7 sacks overall on Smith. Just blitzing a lot, getting that defensive pressure.
Right, that's huge. Anytime you can get the quarterback and pressure him that way and get him sacked a few times, it always kind of seems to get in their head and makes them make a few more mistakes than they normally would. So that helps out to put that pressure on them.
Got to ask you this. Aaron's got the knack of drawing a defense offsides. He did it again last night. He does it just about every game. Teams know about it. They want to not do it, but they do. You work on that in practice, though, don't you?
Yeah, we work on it all the time in practice and try to get the scout team to jump here and there. And, you get in the game and defenses, they know it's coming, the other team, but they still sometimes get caught off guard because of the timing and the high emotions and the energy and that sort.
I saw you in there on several plays from the line of scrimmage, and I was talking to you after the game and tonight. It looked like you were open on one play. You lined up with, I believe, Eddie on that play. It was the third quarter, and it looked like you were open on the right side, but the pass went inside.
Yeah, it was a package with John Kuhn, and Eddie were in there as well. It was the bone formation, and it was a pass play where we had crossing routes, and we both got out, and Eddie was in the middle of the field wide open, so that seemed like the better option at the time.
Well, you were also on special teams. I saw you lining up just to the right of Brett Good, and then I guess blocking once, but really getting down the field. Talk about what you do on special teams.
Yeah, special teams, it's a really big role and niche especially for rookies if they're trying to stick around and have a job. They have to get in there and do as much as they can to help the team out in the right direction. So getting in there on punt protection of that sort, it's a big job. If you let up a punt, it's going to, turn the energy around if you let somebody block a punt. So it's a big time deal, and you got to make sure you're on top of your game and make sure that you get everything blocked up the way it should be.
I mentioned 7 sacks. Mike Daniels had 1.5. He also forced a fumble. How about Joe Thomas? Packers signing him recently, coming in and making a statement.
Yeah, that's awesome to see him get in there and just right away start making an impact. It's really good for him, and we're all excited to see when people come in and make plays like that.
And then Clay Matthews Jr. with 2 sacks, so
Right.
a good game for him.
Yeah.
Overall, just a solid game defensively. Things to work on, perhaps, but
Yeah, I thought they played really well. There's a few let-ups that we had, but it's nothing too major overall,
the injury aspect, well, Devontae Adams had an ankle injury coming in, hurt it a little more perhaps early in the game. Then Dayton Jones, a possible concussion. He actually was hit by his own player. And then Andrew Corliss went out with a knee injury, Jake Ryan a right hamstring. So every game it seems like there's going to be some injuries. You try to avoid the big ones, and hopefully these injuries aren't big.
Yeah, you try to avoid them the best you can, but it's the NFL. It's a high speed, physical sport. So these things are going to happen, and best thing you can do is just try and get in the training room and recover and come back as fast as possible.
Well, we have our first segment done. We'll be back in our second segment to talk more about football, find out where our guest is from, and high school and college participation, take some audience questions as well. Again, the Packers winning their 3rd straight game to start this 2015 season, 38-28 last night over Kansas City at Lambeau Field. This is Wayne Mauser, back after this on My New 32.